When Alex and I founded ARC Technology in the early 1990s, we didn't have a playbook. We had $300, an idea, and a belief that we could make technology more accessible for small businesses. That belief would become the fire that fueled everything. Technology at that time was intimidating for most people. Computers were massive. They were clunky machines. You had to manually configure dial-up connections. Business owners were overwhelmed. They were afraid to embrace tech, afraid to fall behind. But we saw something different. We believed technology could empower, not paralyze, small businesses. The world was entering the digital age, and ARC was quietly becoming part of that story. Our clients back then, they weren't Fortune 500s. They were our neighbors. They were local shops, medical offices, family businesses. We were IT consultants, yes, but we were also educators, troubleshooters, and we were cheerleaders. We answered every call, often at night. We drove out with our toolkits and our passionate hearts. We built relationships long before we had logos. This is where every hero's journey begins, not with fanfare, but with belief. Your business doesn't have to be big to become something great. It starts with a willingness to serve and the courage to keep showing up. In the early 2000s, technology entered homes, offices, and even pockets. The excitement was pretty palpable. Everyone was rushing, to be connected. But with opportunity came the chaos. The dot-com bubble burst. I remember being part of that. Startups vanished overnight. Companies that had banked on the hype, that had written their business plans on napkins, not substance, crumbled. It was a sobering reminder that tech is only powerful when it solves real problems. At ARC, we chose to grow differently during that time. We focused on service. We standardized our contracts. We shifted into a proactive support model, and we were laying the groundwork for what would become managed services. It was during this phase that we introduced accountability into our process, service level agreements, ticketing systems, real-time monitoring. These weren't industry norms yet, but we knew we had to build trust before we could scale. Success doesn't come from selling what's popular. It comes from building what's sustainable. In an age of noise, we chose consistency, and that made all the difference. By the time the Great Recession hit, we were tested. Even long-term clients tightened their budgets. The tech industry took such a hit. But this adversity became our inflection point. We launched CharTec, not just as a brand, but as a movement. We opened our doors to other struggling MSPs. We showed them how to survive, and then we showed them how to thrive. We shared everything: how to price for value, how to package services, how to sell based on outcomes. We helped MSPs reclaim confidence, identity, and profitability. Your darkest moments can become your legacy. What breaks you can now build others later. Never underestimate your impact. Then came the next evolution: threats. Threats became global. Ransomware, phishing, zero-day attacks. These weren't rare. They were constant. ARC rose to meet the moment. We hardened networks. We restructured offerings around compliance and security. And we taught clients how to operate fearlessly. Then came COVID. In 48 hours, we had to virtualize hundreds of businesses. Our team went remote. Our clients panicked. But we tried to respond with calm, clarity, and continuity. And now we're here. AI. This isn't science fiction. This is now. It's rewriting the rules of productivity, client services, and innovation. And yes, it's disrupting our industry too. AI won't replace you, but the MSP who masters it might. Stay ahead by staying adaptable. Today, ARC is more than a business. It's a story. A reminder that grit outlasts hype, that innovation thrives on service, and that leadership means lifting others. Through CharTec, we continue to mentor, equip, and challenge MSPs to think bigger, to serve deeper, to lead boldly in an AI-driven world. But we also recognize the moment that we're in. The business climate today is volatile. Economic uncertainty, interest rate pressures, customer caution, it's real. And many MSPs feel the pressure. We hear our partners say it's harder to close deals. Clients are slower to make decisions. There's fatigue. If that's you, know this, you're not alone. And you don't have to navigate this by yourself. CharTec was built for times like these, not just to teach you the next tactic, but to surround you with people who understand the struggle, who will share what's working, and who will walk with you through it. And maybe, just maybe, you've been to the big expos, the ones with the big neon lights and the keynote speakers that are 40 feet away. Maybe you've walked away feeling inspired, but also overwhelmed and unseen. That's why CharTec feels different. We're intimate on purpose. We're real on purpose. Here, your name matters. Your story matters. Your success matters. I know this. The future belongs to the builders, the ones willing to do the hard things for the right reasons. We don't know what the next 30 years will bring, but we do know this. The MSPs who combine vision, service, and courage will shape it. This is your return with the elixir. You've learned. You've endured. Now go lead, because your clients aren't just waiting for support. They're waiting for heroes. And when you need a place to recharge, refine, or even reimagine, CharTec is here.